Welcome back to Believe in Badgers on the Believe Network, presented by betonline.ag and Oak Ridge Wealth Management. I'm Matt Perkins, joined, as always, by Badger legend, the Hebrew Hammer himself, Matt Bernstein. Bernie, how are we doing today?
Dude, we're winners. If everything I've done this weekend, everything. The only thing that happened to me was winning for the Badgers. Jets lost.
Not for the Jets.
Fantasy's a joke. Who else? Jets is a joke. Mets lost. I mean, it can't get worse, but it is great to be a winner when you're a Badger.
Well, especially Mets lost and the Yankees win. That's a bad combo.
That's what it is.
It's
Monday morning, man. I'm always happy to be here with you, though.
And it's Monday morning fullback, obviously. So we are back per usual. Going to recap the game really quick between Wisconsin and Northwestern. Overall, a pretty good game for the Badgers, but we will get into it in depth here in just a moment. But before we do, want to remind everyone tuning in that we continue to be presented by betonline.ag, the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup breakdown, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the game. BetOnline has the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA, and even political props. See, even my dog is excited about betonline.ag. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our 150 slot games. Head on over to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering, BetOnline. The game starts here. Of course, we continue to be presented by our main man, Chris Anicetti, and his team over at Oak Ridge Wealth Management. Attention pro, future pro athletes, and collegiate athletes with NIL deals. Chris Anicetti is the man that you need to connect with to get your money right. Over at Oak Ridge, Chris and his team of professionals will create a comprehensive financial plan to set you up to navigate your lifestyle and future market conditions. Oak Ridge Management specializes in wealth management for professional athletes. They understand all of the pressures that athletes face. Chris and his team will set you up with a bespoke plan to make your money work for you off the field so you can focus on what you do best, perform on the field. Get in touch with Chris on Instagram at OakBridgeWM_Anicetti. That's OakBridgeWM_ANICETE. Or head on over to their website at OakBridgeWealthMGMT.com. Chris Anicetti and Oak Ridge Wealth Management. Bernie, I think that the Badgers at this point are managing things pretty well right now as we head into our Monday morning fullback, where we talk the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to start with the good like we usually do, and our good, or the hang your hat on it segment, presented by Melon Hats, the world's most durable hat. Melon.com, MELIN.com is where you can get one and put it to the test yourself. That's Melon Hats, Bernie. We are hanging our world's most durable hat, at least for me, on the offensive line yet again. I know it's a continuing theme. I know I bash it home every week. But, Bernie, this is a really good unit.
It's a really good – I mean, they're coming together. That's what I'm excited about. You look at game one, I was a little nervous, and then they just somehow figured it out. They played some competition where, you didn't think that you went from, South Dakota to Alabama and then USC. And I was nervous. This was a blanker get off the pot type of thing to do. And these guys figured out that they can be bullies. And on the field, as an old lineman, that's okay to use that word. And you want them to bully people around. And they have been doing it. I mean, it is nice to see. It feels like the old school line where you see these big dudes moving guys out of the way, doing their job, doing a good job with pass protection. I mean, but just nasty play.
Absolutely.
And across the board. There's nobody's left behind. It's the five dudes. I love that they got a ton of new guys in this week, or last week, sorry, because, you never know what's going to happen. But right now, the front five are clicking.
They are. And, we need to continue to shout out AJ Blazik and Casey Rabach for all the work that has gone into this offensive line burn. What did you think the Badgers were able to hang their hat on against Northwestern?
I think just to piggyback, like one, we could run the ball. That starts with the big lumberjacks up front. But to me, it was the defense. I mean, they moved the ball a little bit up and down the field. They made some plays, some random plays, but they only had 209 yards total on offense.
Bernie,
I mean,
the defense forced 5 3-and-outs.
Yeah, it was great. They had two. They went 2 for 14, which is one less than we did. So there's some bad in there for the Badger offense. But hang your hat on the defense. I mean, I thought it was great. 209 yards. They gave up 3 points. In the second half, they scored one time a field goal. I mean, you're talking about a dominant performance that allowed our offense to play on the field more. I mean, we're talking about these guys. The front four have been outstanding. Peterson was all over the field for me. Hill's all over the place. I mean, these guys are they're clicking as well. It's really nice to see. I thought Tressel had a good game plan. I thought on both sides, actually, the game plan wasn't so bad. But the defense, to me, did a good job. Now, I guess that's what I'll hang my hat on, is the defense, this one. I don't want to get into the bad and the ugly, because this is hang your hat.
Yeah, we're still hanging your hat on it. Rugged and durable, that's the offensive line. That's turning out to be the defensive line as well, which we did not expect. Ben Barton, I think, is continuing to step up and play well. Kurt Neal had some nice reps in there. And I think we got to shout out John Pius, who had his best game as a Badger. He was someone people were very excited about. It had the big strip sack. And I thought just really excelled in what is being, or starting to be, I should say, an expanded role. We see him getting more and more snaps. And I think some of the excitement that we saw around Pius coming into the year, former FCS All-American, is starting to pan out. And that's going to be huge in Big Ten play as they continue to really hit the meat of their schedule with Penn State and Oregon still to come. So they're going to need continued improved play from Pius. Like you said, Peterson played really well, especially against the run. He's turning into a weapon against the run, which Wisconsin really, really needs.
I mean, I can't agree more. They had a safety. I totally forgot they had a safety. So
great
they
game
also
from Sebastian Cheeks. Great game. Who was responsible for that safety? Great game from him.
I mean, you're talking about. I think the game plan was let the quarterback try to run and beat us, and he couldn't do it. I mean, we gave up 80 yards in passing, 82, 85, somewhere in there.
82.
We gave up 127 yards rushing, and most of it was from quarterback runs. And I think we said, if they're going to try to beat us, this is the only way we're going to allow that to happen. If anything, we're going to game plan to stop everything. And they did it. I mean, the quarterback ran a little bit, but he didn't do anything special that hurt us. They couldn't run the ball outside of him, and they couldn't throw it either. I mean, our defense literally dominated. Our offense, I mean, I was just excited. Across the board, outside of maybe the missed field goal, we really did a good job.
We really did. And, even after that big, 29-yard run, which accounted for like a quarter of their entire rushing yards on the game, defense bowed up and, because they were inside the 5, and the defense stood strong, held them to a field goal. That was a crucial point in the game. It was 14-7, early second half. Northwestern, they put it in there. It's a 1-score game. Defense says, not so fast, my friend. And keeps it a 2-score game. Offense comes back out, and then that's kind of all she wrote. And so I'm super impressed with the resilience, the tenacity, and the ability to do big improvements in season. The unit is not regressing. We've seen some teams that came out hot and now are really starting to fade. Knock on wood, or the fake wood my desk is made of. If they continue to improve and ascend like this, it's a really good sign, not just for this year, but for the trajectory of the program. And maybe it is proof that whatever Tressel is cooking up is really starting to work.
Well, I think it's starting to work on both sides of the ball. So I don't want to just limit it to the defense. I mean, I thought you had to win Purdue, right? You had to turn it around. It was a program game against Rutgers, and we dominated them. This is one of those games. I mean, there's a lot of adversity throughout the season. And then you go and play Northwestern, which you're like, they don't even have stands. I mean, I actually thought it looked kind of cool, but it was, not like you get it's not like going into Ohio State, right? Like it's way different. I thought it was really cool and unique, but way different than and our normal is to go in there and struggle and sometimes lose. And we did not do that. Like this, to me, that's great. We broke that trend because now we can go on and, the old heads like us will be like, oh, I remember this, but that's not true anymore. This is a whole new regime. So we can start whole new things. And not losing at Northwestern would make me happy to start that trend.
I will say about that stadium, I would love to go watch a game there in person. I think this would have been a very fun experience. It looks like a cool place to watch the game. But B, that camera angle where the post is directly in the middle. Wait, what's going on here, guys? Come on, it's 2024. Even if you're building a temporary stadium, you know where a camera's going to go for a football game. To me, that was, I don't know if it's Big Ten Network's fault. I don't know if it's Northwestern's fault. Either way, that was the probably the worst part of my viewing experience. And if that's the worst part of my viewing experience, that means it was a pretty good game for the Badgers. The Badgers definitely had their Cherubundi at halftime, though, Bernie, I got to say, because this team is really a second half team. And maybe it's because, they're having, getting some tart cherry juice at halftime. I mean, it is the highest antioxidant fruit or vegetable in the world. It's used by every single team in the NFL, every NCAA football and basketball national champion since 2007, 66 out of 67 Power Four conference football teams, 10 of the 11 last Super Bowl champs. I mean, come on, Bern. Maybe it is a success. We don't know. That could be the key to the second half success. Everyone has a Cherubundi at halftime. We don't know, so we can't say either way. I know I'm drinking a Cherubundi at halftime a lot of times to really rejuice and replenish myself for the second half. So Cherubundi, tart cherry juice, cherubundi.com. Check it out. We love it. Everyone who's had it, who's come on the show with us, Bernie, has said that they love it. I'm definitely here for that.
Not only that, it's delicious. And if all it does for my brain is say that I'm getting healthier and I feel that way, then that's okay. But I do think it works. I had an ankle issue and it seems like it's not as bad. And it could be and it could not be. I mean, I'm still doing all the same things like a knucklehead. I'm still working out. I'm not taking Advil. So what else have I changed? I haven't changed my diet. Let's be real. So I've been having some Cherubundi. I also think it's delicious. So if you open 2 bottles, you're going to drink 2 bottles. Just open 1. You'll be fine.
It's so good. It's so good. So Bernie, we have to get into the bad here. Not a whole lot of bad here in the game. I guess I'll start. I mean, maybe we're picking nits a little bit. I still think Braden Locke was a little bit sloppy with the ball. I thought the pick was, I don't know what he's doing there. It didn't look like there was really anyone around. Throw it out of bounds. Strip sack. I mean, they're going to happen. It did look like he was a little bit loose with the ball in the pocket, but overall, if that's my biggest critique, a kid who I think is a gunslinger has a couple turnovers. I mean, that happens, right? Like guys who play like that are going to have turnovers. I guess second thing there, they didn't hit on a deep ball this week. They'd had those big Vinny Anthony plays the last few games, and I think that is something that's opened up the offense. They weren't able to hit that today. I think part of that is they tried, but I still think I'm glad they tried. It does keep the defense more honest. I think you got to connect on one of those because that really seems to spark the offense a lot of times. Windy conditions by the lake, I'm not really going to worry about that all that much. I think this week against Penn State, that will be a much bigger emphasis on the game. I think you have to try to stretch Penn State vertically. Otherwise, they have a really good defense. They're going to come downhill fast. So, but Bernie, what is your bad from this game?
It's so interesting. It's part of a good, though. I thought if you look at some of the big plays they had, I thought Tressel did a great job of putting our guys, different players, in positions to stop the quarterback run and to stop plays that they do. And our guys, it's not really bad. It's not terrible. They just didn't make the plays a number of times. Not all the time because we had a great defensive day. But sometimes we looked like we were on, what do we say, skating on ice, on the field. So we clean up maybe 5 of those plays, 7 of those plays, and you're looking at less than 100 yards of rushing. right? It was just that we just looked a little doofed. But it gives me hope because that shows me that Dressel's putting these guys in the right spot and he's breaking down teams. And, we're going to need all the help we can get moving forward. I think our schedule just gets elevated. These 3 games were must wins. And now we are going into, the full on battle of the last, what do we have? 5 games?
Mm-hmm.
5 games and a bye.
Yep.
And you're talking about none of them are going to be easy. Nebraska, who do we have? Penn State's what, 3, 4?
Yep. Oregon's one.
Oregon's 1. There's no joke there. We have Minnesota for the Axe, and they're never going to lay down.
No.
Nebraska's season has taken a dive. We're going there. They're going to want to recalibrate that. And then what? Iowa? Is that the last game?
Iowa. Yeah. Iowa between Penn State and Oregon, and Iowa lost to Michigan State, but it's Wisconsin, Iowa. Iowa's got a good defense still, I think. And it's at Iowa, man. Like, it's not going to be easy.
You're talking about all these games are this is the hardest part of our schedule. Everyone thought like maybe Alabama, USC, but no, this is this whole ending. There's no team that will just say, "Oh, here you go, guys. Here's a W. Take the Heartland Trophy. Take whatever other trophies we have." So, I'm really excited to see us playing at, I think, the pinnacle. Maybe not the ceiling. I thought the last 2 weeks we did. This week, I thought we played very good football, but I think we can do way better. I think there's some Northwestern, you drink the juice and it's just not your best game ever. But if we can be queued up, coached up, all the things, we have a shot now. I wouldn't have said we had a shot after coming off of, some of the other games we played, but now 3 in a row and we're playing solid football. Braden Locke's got a lot of experience under his belt in big games. So this shouldn't be like a nerve-wracking, anxiety-driven week. It's we can do something really special here.
Absolutely. And Bern, I got one more thing to say there. Good teams win, great teams cover. Badger's been covering lately. So if you like that, head on over to betonline.ag. Ugly. Block kick. But aside that, man, special teams were really good beside that. So I guess I really can't complain all that much. Punting game was on point. Bernie putting them down way deep in their own territory, backing them up, getting a safety. That was really impressive. Some solid returns as well. Vinny Anthony on the return game yet again, get the ball in that guy's hands. But there's not a whole lot of ugly here, Bern. It was a pretty clean game.
Yeah, if that's the only ugly, a blocked field goal, then that's great.
It was a chip shot. It's a chip shot.
These things happen. We blocked one also. So, it's a chip shot. I would like to make them. I think going forward, you have to practice kicking it higher. There's some big dudes up front. But we didn't have a lot of penalties. They had more. We had a couple with 2 or 3.
Yep.
We're really playing solid football. I'd like to see our third downs improve and 0 for 1 for fourth down. Those are huge momentum swings, fourth down plays. But overall, if ugly is only that, then we are sitting here on Monday Morning Fullback very happy.
Even then, you run those fourth down plays, your defense is gonna back you up. They're not letting the other team go anywhere. Yeah, maybe you lose a little bit of field position, but I think it's worth the risk for the most part, especially if you're on, the other side of the 50 with the way that this defense is playing, especially in this kind of game. So let's look forward to this weekend. Penn State, obviously number 3 team at home, night game at the camp, 6:30 p.m. local kickoff. Bernie, this should be, Bama was rowdy. You were there, but I think this is going to be another very, very rowdy crowd and should be a game that, I would hope that the Badger fans can really get in and cause havoc for noise purposes on Penn State's offense because the Nits are really good. The Nits are a very, very good team with an outstanding offense.
All true. But you, again, have to come into Wisconsin. We're on a streak. We're playing the best football we're playing. And you got to come in at nighttime? Man, we're successful at nighttime. We have been very successful. And to come in, I think our fans are going to be outrageously drunk. I mean, crazy. Listen, I think they're going to be rowdy. I think people are excited. I think people are seeing what this team can be. And the last 3 games to me have shown what this team can be and what Fickle and Longo and Tressel are trying to accomplish. I like it. I mean, I do. I don't think I've heard a lot of negativity from a lot of people over the course. It's crazy. A couple weeks ago, we're playing semi-okay football. We got dudes stepping away. We got things happening. And all of a sudden, like, it's, like, we're focused. We're laser focused on the job. And things happen during a season, and this team seems to be able to pivot well. And listen, no matter what happens on Saturday, there's still 5 more games after, 4 more games. Like, we got to keep playing football. But I'm excited. I think this is the exact time when I want Penn State to come in.
Yeah.
Looking at the schedule, I was a little nervous. Now, you're like, oh my God, Rutgers, Northwestern, we always have that issue. Penn State coming in. But now it's we've handled business to where we need to be to make me as a fan think we have a shot. Maybe Alabama, I was always like, oh yeah, we had a shot, but that's a little different. Now I think we truly do, because this is Big Ten play. And we're playing our best football. And it's at Camp Randall at night. All these things make me happy, but we just got to keep coming in confident, coming in well coached. I think there cannot be one play that isn't the perfect play. These guys, the coaches too, have to be queued up, have to be ready, have to be on 150% for a game like this.
Absolutely. And I think they will be. So I'm excited about it.
I want to see Brady Collins jump in something after a game. What can he jump in?
Lake Mendota.
It's kind of a far jog.
It is kind of a far jog. I mean, an ice bath. I don't know.
Let me think about it.
We saw Fickle jump into like one of like those big tubs last year at some point. So why not? I don't know. Keep it up. Keep it up, Brady. That's all we got to say. Just keep it up.
That's all we got to say. Keep it up.
He's the best. He's the best. Bernie, you are the best. And our fans, listeners, viewers, you guys are the best as well. We really appreciate everyone tuning in to Believe in Badgers on the Believe Network, presented by betonline.ag and Oak Ridge Wealth Management. We'll be back later this week talking more Penn State, and just getting ready for this weekend, probably an interview. We will see. Always fun stuff here on Believe in Badgers. So thank you again for tuning in. And until next time, on Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.